All right. This is Monday, August 10th. Trade recap. I forgot to trade live today. I'll be sure to trade try and trade live Tuesday going all the way to Friday and just going from there. Today was a win. I was able to get about $239 today. It's not a great amount, but it does bring my balance to around 782, so around 800. So I'm about $200 in drawdown still, climbing back up slowly. And we do have our second winning day out of the five. So even though we're not in profit, this does still count as a winning day for us. So just to get into the recap, not to make it too long, let me actually go back on the replay here. So this is just in the replay. Going into New York Open, I was a bit conflicted on the 15-minute directional bias because we were in an uptrend here, but we slowly shifted and we started pulling back. But the only reason I don't consider this for shorts is because while we did break these lows, we haven't had a good pullback, a continuation on the breaking of those lows. And that's what I personally look for directional bias. So just a quick example of what I would want to look for. If it did switch to shorts, I would need a break of these lows, which did happen. But I will want a pullback of considerable. I will need a nice pullback. And what I consider a nice pullback is at least two candles on the 15 minute. So even though it broke these lows, this is only one bullish candle. So I would still, even though it's not the easiest to take a long when the market's moving like this, especially in New York, because it tends to just go one direction. That was my idea. So it took me a bit to get to that conclusion, but that's how I came to the conclusion. Just to reiterate, if I wanted to look for shorts, I would have needed a break of these, which did happen. I would need at least two candle pullback. And then I would need another break of this low right here. And once it's at this point, then I'm looking for shorts on the 1 minute. But that didn't happen. So going into New York, I was looking for longs. And while I was coming to that decision, I did just wait for the first 15 minutes of the market to close. And it closed like this, right? So I literally watched the market come all the way here, then come all the way back in here. It wasn't easy. I actually think, if I'm correct, 9/11. I waited close to 15 more minutes actually to around this close a bit. So I actually ended up waiting about 30 minutes into the New York Open. So even when this candle closed, I wasn't sure actually the direction at this point. And then this 15-minute close here, and it kind of solidified my bias that I was looking for longs. The bullish structure didn't fully break down yet, so I'm only looking for longs here. So let me just exit replay. So that's kind of what I was looking for on the 15 minutes. So at this point, at 8:45, I was looking for longs only. So market from 8:45, which is going up, no real pullback. Had a slight pullback here, two candles, and I think that's what I kind of like to look for pullbacks in general, is just at least two candles. This is small. This could be over long term not the best setup, but I won't know unless I journal it. So I saw this small pullback and then it continued, so I pulled out the fib and started retracing it, or started charting it up. And as it came to the 50%, I entered, stopped below this swing low right here. And this was my break-even trade. So as price broke these highs here, I forgot to say, I was targeting, let me see, I was targeting London highs up here. London highs and this 15-minute buy-side liquidity a bit. These highs. That's what I was targeting. So I went break even as it broke above these highs and was rejecting or bouncing into this 790 psychological price point. And while it did take me out at break even and then went all the way to take profit, I'm not upset about that break even because that could have easily been a reversal signal because it came up, rejected, and then came up and rejected again, essentially double top. That could have definitely gone all the way to my stop. So I'm actually not upset about that break even at all. So the next trade was the same setup after it came to take these lows and started to close above these previous highs. I put out the fib to mark it up again to follow it, and this candle just came to the 50% and then just rejected it and went all the way to London highs. That's where I took my profit. So that was about a 1.5 R trade. And it is funny how even for this trade it was break even. Seems like at least in this specific market conditions that we're in right now, that the 50% retracement on the fibs on 1 minute are not that bad. They're pretty good entries for winners. Obviously everything loses sometimes, but if it's a winner, it's a pretty good entry typically. It seems like it. I don't know. I've only done this like 8 times so far, so we'll see. But yeah, that was a pretty lengthy recap. But yeah, 2 trades on the day, 1 break even, 1 winner, and we'll see what the rest of the week brings us. All right, so I am remembering to live execute today. So this is the entry I got for today. So yeah, this is my entry. It finally tagged me in after a little bit to show why I got in the trade. We are in an uptrend on the 15-minute, making some higher lows here. So we had a very strong 15-minute close on New York Open. And I was looking, if this low was taken and closed down, then I would have switched my bias, but it wasn't. It stayed, had a good rejection, and a bullish, it flipped bullish right here. So I was looking for long bias, and that's when I started to mark out the fib on this push upward. Marked it out as it closed above these highs, and it was kind of consolidated, chopping here for a little bit, and it finally flushed down, broke these lows, sell side, hit the 780 psychological price level, and my target is really kind of this low liquidity right here, as well as yesterday's New York AM high. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Ideally, it would be 798, close to 800. Actually, not that close, but yeah, 798 would be my ideal target if we can get there. Updated on anything that I do to the trade, any break evens, any taking partials, or the loss. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the trade. Hopefully it's a winner. And it was unfortunately a loss. And this trade just took a while. It's literally just been ranging and chopping this entire time. And I knew it was going to break out one way. I was hoping it was to the upside, but it was not, to the downside. So it took a full loss here. Just plummeted after ranging for about an hour, basically. Losses happen, so nothing to really reflect on too much. Played my system, and it just didn't work out this trade. I would look for another trade, but it's about 10, 12 right now, and I just don't see another setup happening. Because I would still be looking for longs. It did take liquidity here. So I guess I'll just have a loose eye on the market if it is able to. I mean, I don't see it happening, honestly. If it would come up, take these highs, and then come down for another retracement, it doesn't seem likely to me. If anything, it'll just keep going down or just go back into range bound trading after taking that liquidity. So, but yeah, this trade was a loss. And if I do have another trade, then you'll see it. But I'm assuming that is the day. So we'll just wait till the next one. Alright, so we actually do have a second trade for the day. It is a switch on directional bias on the 15. So 15-minute close below these lows right here. So, I mean, it's not the most, I don't know, just going from kind of how I'm looking at it. New York session tends to go in one direction most of the time. There are like reversal directionals, but I think they're less common than just price just moving one way kind of. So longs out of the picture, close below these lows. New 15-minute opened up and it hit a 50% on the retracement. So that's kind of the idea. And we'll see what happens with this. Not the most high probability trade, I'll be honest, but we'll just see how it works out. See if it works in our favor or not. And yeah, I'll be back with the results. Alright guys, what's up? We are back and it was an eventful week, right? So this is Tuesday, right? That's the last clip that I had, and it is now Friday. So there was a huge thunder / tornado storm where I'm at, and power was out for basically 3 days. Like, before this trade even closed, the power went out, and I was lucky enough to close it on using my phone's data. So this will be a recap of Tuesday and of today, which is Friday, the 14th of August. So this is basically closing the week. I did miss 2 days. Unfortunate. Can't do anything about it. But I did end the week in a good note, I think. So I believe the last clip was the entry of this second trade right here. And this was actually a blessing. So it did go to my take profit. But again, my power was out. So I wasn't here. And I didn't set a take profit, right? I had a stop loss set. I didn't set my take profit, which is a blessing again. I did have stop loss. So my trade was protected there. But basically, when I was able to get back on the charts on my phone, the price came all the way down here. So instead of like a 1.88 R trade, I was able to take a like 3R trade here, which brings me to 400 profit on this day. This was a loss, 200, and this was a $600 trade, so $400 profit on the day. So that was very good. Let me see if I can just find the 15-minute. And yeah, I think I went over the reason I took this trade in the last clip, right? Tuesday. Yeah, closed below these swing lows, switch my bias. And that's kind of what happened today on Friday. So that was just a really quick recap on Tuesday. And let's get on to the recap for Friday. Alright, so this is the recap for today. Today was a break-even / winning day. So just to go over the first trade. Going into market open, I was bullish because of that, basically, right? There were no lows being broken here, so I was only looking for longs. So the first one came about 15 minutes after market open. I was waiting for a price action shift on the 1 minute because it was making lower lows here. And because I was long, I kind of front ran it a little bit, but I was just confident that if it went to go up, this was a good move to get in on the retracement. So it took these lows here and then came up, strong closes. And I was like, if it retraces to 50 on this pump up, then I'll get in. And that's what happened. Did get some close calls, but did come up to profit. It almost reached to where I want to take some partials at, not quite, but it did reach my break-even point, which was these highs right here. And after like all of this back and forth, I knew that was a really good break-even, because if it did come all the way back down here, I just had a strong feeling that it was going to keep going down, which it did. So that was the break-even trade. And on the second trade, I was looking short because the bias was switched, closed below these swing lows on the 15-minute, this 9:15 15-minute candle. So that's the reason I was looking for the shorts instead. And again, the reason I took profit so early just to secure $100 winning day instead of letting the trade go to maybe other targets is because I got on the trade around this 9:30 candle to be specific. I got in at the end of the 9:30 candle. So I got in at 10:01 basically. So all right, yeah. So I got in at 10 o'clock, which is this candle, and I honestly wasn't certain that price could get down here. The reason because these New York PM lows, it just took this pink line right here. It literally just took it right before entry, and I just wasn't confident. It was a Friday, markets closing in like a few hours, give or take, and I just wasn't confident that this move could just continue this strong. And it's not like a crazy strong move, but it's more than I thought, and I was fine with just leaving with the winning day today. It puts me at 4 out of 5 days for my payout. So just up $100 on today. Really nice way to close the week, and that puts us at $300 in profit. So we came from almost blowing the account, maybe like $500 from drawdown, all the way up to $300 in profit. So it's definitely a good week. I hope to piggyback off this momentum going into next week, and hopefully it'll be a good one. Thanks. And just to end the week out, this is just a quick analysis of the week. There's nothing to reflect on for real. I want to get my 30 trades in before I look for things that I want to change. But this is just... There we go. This is just the trade stats that I've started keeping track of it. It's dating back from July 31st all the way to August the 14th. So these are the stats, and these are very good stats for now. We'll see how they change. I would be doing week by week analysis like this, or just compiling this info. But again, I won't analyze it till I hit the 30 trade mark. But yeah, this is a bit more than a week, but I'll start doing week by week. But this is all the trades taken into account thus far. But let's hope we can continue with a great week next week, and we'll see how we go.